Hello, welcome to another macro video. We've got a new macro today allowing you to compare three different files. Three files that are actually similar, but they do have a few differences. And the question is, with three files, can you spot the differences between them? Or can we help you to do that? Comparing two files, very straightforward because you've got Word's review tool, but as always I've got a macro to speed it up using the Word tool. But if you use the macro called compare two documents, it'll speed things up. You can basically click in the first file, run the macro, and then click in the second file and it'll do the comparison. So let's try that out. Let's try file A and file B. And try and find the differences between them. Okay, so we start from the first file there, we run the macro, compare two documents, and click in the second file, and then we get a nice review excuse me, review document with the changes. Okay, so if we've got three files, okay, we do it with three files. So a third copy of the same file. Well, for that we're going to use compare three documents, not surprisingly, and we're going to click in the first file, run the macro, click in the second file, and click in the third file, and off it goes. Okay, so we have to make sure that the cursor is in the same place in each of the three files, so I click in them to make sure that's okay. So I start from the first file, I run the macro, and it just gives me a bit of reminder of what I'm trying to do. Make sure that the cursor is in the exact same paragraph in the other two files. So when we're ready we say OK, we click in the second file and the third file, and off it goes. And there we are, it's done it. So it's highlighted those areas where there is a difference between them, somewhere in between the three files. So if you have a look at the different bits and pieces there, you'll notice that not only are they highlighted, but they're underlined. Now that's useful because we can search for them by putting an underline in the find and replace. I mean, basically you click in it, make sure that it's empty, and press Ctrl U. So once takes it back, once for underline. There we go. So if I find next, it's found the first one in the left hand file there, so let's cancel that. Then I can use my find forward to go through them and then find back to have a look at the other ones. Okay, so if we have a look what's going on here, let's say we look at this, well, let's look at the third file. If I open that up, if you look at this paragraph here, basically it compares the three documents paragraph by paragraph. So it starts from the beginning of the paragraph and looks until it finds a word that doesn't match with the other two files. That's different in the other files. So it's found the beginning, and so it highlights all the rest of the paragraph. Then it goes to the end of all the paragraphs, or these paragraphs, and works its way backwards, checking all the words until it finds a word that's wrong in that paragraph. And so that's obviously different in the other paragraphs for some reason. And so by that stage it's got that highlighted. But if it's a long paragraph, it's quite helpful to have more detail, please. And so what I've done is I get the macro to start back from the beginning, from the first error there, and then try to find in the next few words a word that is similar, well, sorry, the same as the other two files. So it actually manages to find the word in the same in the other two files, and then that, and then nor did. So it works its way through and unhighlights the words that are the same in all three paragraphs. In that paragraph in all three documents. So it ends up down here where it finds a word that is different in this version from the other two, and so you've now got one error there. That is just one error, but in the rest of the highlighted bit we know there's two errors because there's one at the beginning and one at the end, but there might be other errors within that same highlighted text, but that's as far as the macro goes. It's up to you to sort of have a look and see what you can find in there. Okay, now the other thing it does is if the one of the documents has, say, an extra paragraph in there, or maybe there's some extra text, there's an extra paragraph in there, then it will deal with that as well. So before we demonstrate that, I can show you that we can get rid of the highlighting and the underlining by using a macro. So I run the macro and it's saying, do you want to remove it from the whole of the document? Yes. If I just selected, there we go. If I just selected a bit and did it, it would take it off that part of the document. And actually that'll do for now, because all we want to see is what happens around here. So now we're going to run the macro again and see what happens when it hits these bits, these naughty bits further down. So start from the top again. Don't forget that we've got to have all three at the same position, and then run the macro and click in the other two documents, 1 and 2, and what it's now done is found this blank line here. The rabbit hole's all right there, the rabbit hole's all right there, but there's a blank line. So what I can now do is click in the next paragraph, because I could obviously delete that blank paragraph, but I can start again by clicking in that paragraph. So they're now all in the same paragraph. You see that's in the rabbit hole and this one's in the rabbit hole. So again, it doesn't matter which one I start from. So I run the macro, yes, okay, click, and it does the errors for that up to there, but then it gets to the bit where I've added this silly extra paragraph. So again, there's something wrong there. So if I click after that, it'll be the same again, well thought Alice, well thought Alice, and then run the macro again. This time I'm starting from the middle one, okay, click, and it goes through, and that's it. So we're just about there, but let's get rid of the highlighting from that one and that one. Go to the top, just finally to show you that if you like this way of displaying the errors between files and want to use it for 2 files rather than 3, that's fine. So you run the same macro, click, yes, okay, and what you do this time is click in the second document, the one you want to compare, and then click back in the first. So go, click in the second, click back in the first, and it goes through and compares those two, and obviously there are fewer errors because I've mainly put, well, yes, I have, most of the errors I've added are in the third document there. So that's it. I hope you find that useful, and that's it. Bye for now.